All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about something fascinating and, maybe a little unsettling. An AI that might actually know you better than you know yourself.
So let's just start with this question, because it really gets you thinking. We're not talking about some sci-fi world-ending robot here. Nope. This is much quieter and way more personal. What if the algorithms we use every single day have just gotten incredibly good at figuring us out?
Okay, so how on earth does it do this? Well, it's not about cameras watching you in the classic spy movie sense. It's all about recognizing patterns. Patterns on a massive scale, from all the stuff we just hand over to it every single day without a second thought.
And I mean, look at these examples. They're so personal, right? This goes way beyond just what you like. It's about your moods. The AI figures out, hey, when they're tired, they watch comedies. Or when they're stressed, they're clicking on self-improvement videos. And you can bet it knows exactly what's going to keep you doom scrolling when you really should be asleep. And this is the absolute key, right here. It's not that we're being passively watched. We are actively, constantly showing the AI who we are. We're the ones teaching it, with every single tap, every scroll, every time we hesitate for just a second.
So let's dig into how this whole learning process actually works, because it's all built from hundreds, maybe thousands of tiny little choices you made and probably forgot about 5 seconds later.
It's a really simple but incredibly powerful feedback loop. So you make a choice, the AI logs that choice, and it also logs the context around it, like what time of day it is, what your mood probably is. Then it uses all that data to guess what you'll do next. And of course, the more you use the app, the scarily good it gets at these predictions. And you know what? Let's be real here. Most of the time, this feels awesome. The recommendations are just spot on. It pulls up stuff you genuinely love. It feels like you have this perfect personal assistant that just gets you. It saves you from having to search for things, and that convenience, that's exactly why we almost never question.
Okay, but this is where things start to feel a little uncomfortable. Is this perfect assistant really just helping us find what we want? Or is it maybe, just maybe, subtly guiding where we go next?
And that really gets to the two sides of this coin, doesn't it? On the one hand, yeah, the AI is a super helpful tool. But on the other hand, it's a guide. And it's a guide that gently steers you, reinforces what you already think, and maybe even narrows your whole world by only showing you more of what it knows you already like.
This brings us to the core question here. I mean, think about your own phone, your own feeds. When was the last time you really went exploring, actively searching for something totally new, versus, just picking one of the options it put right in front of you?
Now you might be sitting there thinking, okay, this is all just about Netflix recommendations, what's the big deal? But what if this same exact mechanism applies to much, much bigger things, like life choices?
Just think about it for a second. The last time you had to make a really big decision, what did you do? You probably went online to do some research, right? You watched videos, you read articles, you looked at what other people were saying. And what content popped up for you? Well, it was the content the algorithm had already figured out you were most likely to click on. And this quote really gets to the heart of it. The influence is so subtle. It's not a command. It's not telling you what to do. It's all about proximity. The AI just places certain ideas, certain career paths, or certain ways of seeing the world a little bit closer to you and makes them seem more common, more persuasive than all the other options out there.
And that's the real magic trick, isn't it? Because this whole process is so gentle, so perfectly tailored to who you already are. When you finally make that big choice, it feels like it was 100% yours, like it came from you and you alone.
So this whole process has a name. It's called the cycle of influence. It's this quiet little loop where understanding what you like starts to shape where you're headed next, and it really happens in a few distinct steps.
First up, it all starts with a simple suggestion. A video, an article, maybe a product. Just something the AI is pretty darn sure you're going to click on.
Then, when you keep taking those suggestions over and over, they start to form a habit. You almost start to rely on your feed to tell you what's interesting, what you should care about, what to look at next.
And finally, over time, all those little habits start to set a direction. Your patterns of what you watch and read begin to quietly influence your patterns of thinking, and pretty soon, your patterns of living.
So, what's the big master plan here? Is it some evil scheme for world domination? Nah, it's actually much simpler and way more commercial. The goal isn't to control you. The goal is to keep your attention. That's the product. This guidance, this shaping, It's just a side effect of a system that's built for one thing: engagement.
So where does that leave us? I think the big takeaway here is that the future, it isn't some big event that's going to happen someday. It's being built right now, one small choice at a time inside these very systems.
And that leaves us with this final, really important question. In this world of perfect recommendations and never-ending feeds that are designed to hold our attention, are we actually pausing long enough to decide for ourselves? The real question isn't what the AI is choosing for us, it's whether we're still creating the space to consciously choose for ourselves. Definitely something to think about the next time you pick up your phone.